up, everybody? Christine and I are on the road, and we are heading to
Moab.
We're heading to Moab. We've been on the road for 2 straight days. We left the house yesterday at 6 a.m., making a hard push to get down here, and we're in the final stretch. We've got a couple hours to go, and we'll be rolling into town in Moab. And this is a trip that we've had planned for the better part of a year, and it's finally happening. So we're super excited. Our plan is to spend 2 weeks, first part in Moab, exploring some of the national parks, and then we're going to work our way over to Colorado, and we're going to explore some of the areas in Colorado too. Neither of us have ever been here to either of these spots, so yeah, we're just going to spend the next 2 weeks exploring, and we hope you'll join us on what should be a pretty fun adventure. The closer we got to Moab, the more the landscape began to change, from flat and brown to jagged, rocky formations towering above the highway. And then, finally, the red rock that Moab is so famous for came into view. After 2 long days on the road, we made it to Moab. Here we plan to rendezvous with some friends before beginning our trip into the backcountry tomorrow morning. Well, good morning from Moab. We're here. We got in last night. We get to explore the town a little bit. We enjoyed dinner at the Moab Brewery, which if you're in Moab, would definitely recommend. That was a solid spot, but it's a pretty cool town, gotta say. Definitely kind of a 4x4 off-road paradise. There's like Jeep rentals everywhere. There's a place that rents out old Land Cruisers, which is pretty cool too. So I've seen a bunch of 80 series Land Cruiser rentals. So I've been geeking out about that. But anyway, today we are gonna head out of town, and we're really gonna start our adventure. Our first destination is Canyonlands National Park. More specifically, we're gonna head to the White Rim Trail. So we're gonna camp along the way. We've got some campsites reserved, and I can't wait. Everything that I've seen and heard seems to make this out to be one of the most gorgeous 4x4 trails in the country. So we'll see what we see, and we'll show you what we find along the way. After entering the park and making a brief stop at the visitor center to get some current intel on trail conditions, we made the final turn off pavement and began our trip into the backcountry.
We're about to start the White Rim Trail. Excited?
So excited. Been waiting for this for a year. This is like the official beginning, official unofficial beginning of our trip.
We just got off of pavement, so we're officially on the trail.
Try to get as much.
The Schaefer Trail begins less than a mile from the Island in the Sky Visitor Center, and it's comprised of a series of steep switchbacks that descend from the mesa top down to the canyon below. The trail has had many uses over the years, beginning long ago as a route created by Native Americans, and then in 1917, John Schaefer improved the trail for the purpose of moving cattle into and out of the canyon. Later, in the 1940s, the trail was widened to accommodate trucks hauling uranium core from the backcountry to Moab for processing. Well, here we are on the White Rim Trail, and we've only been on the trail for maybe 15 minutes or so after coming through the Schaefer switchbacks. I hyped this trail up like a lot, watching videos and pictures and seeing people do this trip, and the reality is you can't overhype this trail. It's absolutely incredible. I don't even know where to look because the views are that spectacular. After a brief stop to enjoy our first views along the White Rim, we got back into the trucks and pushed on. And then just a few minutes further down the trail, we were treated to something pretty special. A herd of desert bighorn sheep grazing right along the trail. Once on the brink of extinction, they have begun to make a comeback, but it's estimated that there are still only around 350 of these animals that call this steep, rocky, and inhospitable land home. A bit further on, we encountered our first real obstacle of the trail, a short rutted out hill climb. Just prior to this, we watched a 4x4 Sprinter van get temporarily stuck here and struggle quite a bit with this climb. For us though, it was all just a good bit of fun. One of the amazing things about the White Rim Trail is how close it takes you to the rim in places. In some spots, your tires are just a foot or two away from, well, oblivion. We had nearly reached our campsite for the first evening, but there was still one final challenge in store. A steep, rocky climb up a narrow shelf road known as the Murphy Hogback. Add a few shelves thrown in for good measure, and this part of the trail will have you saying, "Thank God I'm not in a Sprinter van." Unless you are in a Sprinter van, in which case you'll probably spend the climb saying, "F***." You're good. So far, it's all good. There's one, you'll know when you see it, there's one that's a little puckery. Have fun. All right.
Just made it to the top of Hogback Mountain. Corey, where are we?
Where are we?
Yeah. I call it Hogwarts, but I know it's not Hogwarts. I think it's Hogback Mountain. We're up at the top. We're waiting for Brad and Kristen in their truck. They were the last one in the convoy, and they're having to troubleshoot. They're closer to the bottom. It was pretty gnarly, pretty narrow, pretty sketch. So we're up at the top here just waiting for them. Looks like Jeff's coming back. He brought down some recovery boards just in case they needed the help. Doesn't look like they needed it, or he didn't make it all the way down to the bottom. It's kind of long. What's the latest?
Sounds like they got it.
Oh, they got it.
They got themselves unstuck, so trying to be the nice guy that I am, I decided to walk down that hill with some recovery boards, and it's a steep hill.
It's a climb.
But they made it through the toughest part. I think they'll be fine.
What is this place called? I called it Hogwarts.
Murphy Hogback. Yeah,
I was
so
way off.
So this is probably the toughest climb. They say the toughest bit of the White Rim, and it was mostly fine
Up until that point.
There's one particular spot that's pretty gnarly, but other than that, not too bad. But we passed a couple in a 4x4 Sprinter van, and I wouldn't want to be them coming up this right now, to be honest. That's gonna be
Several minutes later. With all 3 trucks now at the top, we turned our attention to the stunning views our climb had provided, before setting off to find our camp, which turned out to be just around the corner.
All right, I want to give you all an update. We are at the top of Murphy's Hogback. Pretty windy up here, which is actually kind of nice given how hot it is. We're all just hanging out here at the top. We have trucks all set up with our shelters up, or at least our shade shelters up. What's interesting is, I don't know if you can tell, but behind me we have some very, very dark clouds. There's definitely a storm brewing. We're actually gonna wait to see what happens in the next hour or so. We've already heard some thunder. Yeah, pretty crazy.
Lucky for us, other than a bit of rain overnight, the storm passed us by without incident.
Well, it's about 7:30 in the evening. The views from the campsite are absolutely incredible. It's honestly pretty hard to describe what this is like in person. But yeah, this is our first day again on the trail coming to an end, and I can't imagine a better day in Canyonlands National Park. So can't wait to see what tomorrow brings, but really for now, we're just gonna enjoy the rest of the evening and stay cool and look forward to tomorrow.
That's all for this episode, but our adventure is just beginning. On the next episode, we continue along the White Rim, find dinosaur footprints, explore arches, and get caught in the mother of all monsoons. So give us a subscribe to make sure you don't miss it, and thanks for watching.